السلام عليكم. عامر هذا المايك عامر العتيبي.
ايوه يا دكتور.
عامر, could you please give me feedback in case something went wrong during the session? There is no voice, you cannot see the share, something like this. Is it okay with you?
Okay, no problem.
Thank you very much. But I need you to raise your voice up because your voice is a little bit low.
Okay, now it's good or not?
Now it's very good. How about my voice? You can hear my voice good?
Yeah, it's clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulullah. Inshallah, guys, today we'll start the third lecture in the theory of or presenting the AutoCAD commands. Last time we covered most of the commands in the modify menu, and the very last one that we covered was array. So I'm gonna review it again because it's very important using this command for at least for this week. The uploaded sheet, the third practice problem that I uploaded to the Blackboard, heavily you will use this array in almost like 3 or 4 problems. Okay. So now, guys, if you need to create an array, of course, you have to have the object itself, and this object could be anything. It could be a circle, it could be a rectangle, it could be a hexagonal shape, it could be anything that you need to plot it in array form. Like let's say I have that hexagon, and then you describe, no problem. Okay. So as I said, guys, in the array you might have any shape. Any shape you can make it as an array. Okay. There are 3 types of array: the rectangular array and the polar array. Okay. For the rectangular array, you can, as you can see from the sample shown in the icon itself, you can create an array such that you will have group of items in the x direction and the group of items in the y direction. This is why they call it rectangular array, because you are dealing with x and y direction. Okay. The last type of array, which is the polar array, as you can see from the sample shown here. For example, if you created like a chair around like a meeting table, you can make multiple copies of this chair and arrange them in a very exact and symmetric way. Okay. And the third one of array, which is the path array, this is very rare to be used. Okay. And you can go through it, and it's very easy to implement like the rectangular array and the polar array. Let's start with the rectangular array. You click on the rectangular array, and as usual, guys, and as I used to advise you all the time, once you start implementing any of these commands, you have to rush to the command line and look what the command line is telling you right now, because this is the main communication way between you as user and the program as AutoCAD. Okay. So now he's telling you to select the object. So let's say that I'm going to select that hexagonal shape. Okay. And the program is still asking me to select the object. To get out of this series of questions, guys, again, please, when I say right click, it means you push the right button of the mouse. When I say left click, it means pushing the left button of the mouse. Okay. Because some of the people I study in the class, they drive me crazy. I told them right click, they make left click. Okay. Anyway, so select object. So the program will keep asking me this series of questions. To get out of it, as I said, I have to make right click, and then be ready for how the array will looks like. This is just sample. This is not the end of the story, because actually you still need to control the number of columns and the number of rows. Okay. So if you need to control the number of columns and the number of rows, you can easily go to the command line down there and click on columns. Okay. See down there, you click on the columns. I see some of the people are chatting with me, guys. Okay. So they are getting in, not chatting. Okay. Okay. So now I can control the number of columns and the number of rows by just clicking either columns or rows. Okay, you can also control the spacing between the columns and the spacing between rows. All of this could be done using three ways. The first way is to go to the command line and just click on the column, for example. If you set column, then as you can see, the default number for the columns is 4. So I need them to be like 8, for example. Here you go, guys. Once I wrote down the number 8, then the command is directly implemented. Now he's asking you to specify the distance between these columns. Be careful, guys. When you say the distance, it does not mean the distance between the end of this object and the beginning of the next object. No, it means the distance between the center of the object and the next center of the and center of the next object. Let's try it. Yani for example, here he's asking you to change also the distance between columns. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put very small number. Okay. See what happened, guys? This is a big evidence that the distance is not between the beginning and the end of the object. It is between the two centers. Okay. So now let's get back and change the You can also go back and change the distance again, and the day with a number of rows and number of columns. This is one of the methods. The second method, guys, is to go up there, and you see everything is listed in front of you in small windows. And for example, I need to change the number of columns again to become 5. Here you go. I put 5, and I need to change the distance in between to become like 2.5, for example. Here you go. Okay, and I need to change the number of rows. Let's make the number of rows. Let's say 6. Here you go. You put 6, and then it will be implemented, and then you can also control the distance. Let's say 2.5. See, you can control everything. Okay. Now, this is the second method for implementing the command. The third method of implementing the command, guys, is to go and just grab this click on the left button, and then you keep pushing the left button, and you move your mouse in the direction in which you want to increase your number of columns. You can also change the direction. See, this was the basic, and then I move to the right one time, and then the second time I move to the left. Okay, so I can control the number of columns by just picking up the arrowhead at the end. Okay, what about this arrowhead at the middle? By this arrowhead, you can control the spacing in between. You see, guys, I'm grabbing the arrowhead right now, and what I'm doing right now is I'm just changing the distance between these columns. This is the first thing. The second thing is to change your number of rows by just grabbing this just when I say grabbing, guys, it means that you go to that arrowhead, you stand there until the color changes to this orange color. Then this means that you are ready to make it up. Then you push the left button. Once you push the left button and you move up or down, you can see the increase or decrease in the number of rows. Okay. So what about the spacing? Again, the second arrow here, it will enable you to change the spacing between these rows. Okay. What if I decided to change the direction? Very simple. You move in the opposite direction. Okay. Now, guys, what if I decided to change both of the rows and the columns at the same time? You go to this opposite corner. Okay, at the right upper corner, and then you stand there until you see this orange color, and then push your mouse button, and then you'll be able, wherever you move, you can change the number of columns. If I'm moving almost close to the horizontal, if I'm moving close to the vertical, then I can change the number of rows. And if I move diagonally, you see, guys, I'm changing both at the same time. Okay, so the program gives you the flexibility to do whatever you like. This is the end of the story of the Boolean array. Sorry. Guys, let me make undo. Okay, let's keep this one, and then I'm gonna go with Boolean array. Okay, first of all, you click on the command, or just down there, write down in the command line the Boolean array. By the way, guys, sometimes you don't see the command line, as I said, all the time. I'm reminding you of this. Control 9, control and 9, the number 9, not control F9. It's control and 9 at the same time. Okay. So when you say select object, you select one of those objects. Let's see. I'm gonna select also again that hexagonal shape. Maybe I need to select this this square or that rectangle right there. So you can keep selecting until you get satisfied, and then you make right click to be ready to answer the next question. The next question here, guys, is telling you what? Read carefully. It says specify center point of array. So I can pick up, if I have an exact center point, I can pick it up, or I can just for the presentation today, I'm just picking up any arbitrary point. You see, guys, once I select the center point, again, as it happens in the rectangular array, give me sample from what will happen after I finish up my business. So I need to control the number of items. You just go to the items here in the third choice in the column, okay? Or you can go up there, guys, in this window is very easy, up there, okay? So you just highlight the number and change it to, let's put very big number, let's say 20. Okay, you see what happened, guys? You are able to control the number of items very easily. Not only this, guys, you can also control the angle in between. But be careful, guys. When you control the angle in between, this angle is 18 because of what? Because your distribution is on full circumference of a circle. So if you decide to change that number with anything, then for sure the covering angle will no longer be 360. Let's try. So let's make this number, for example, 5, guys. Okay? You see? To make the number 20, to distribute the number 20 by an angle, fixed angle 5, there is no way to spread along the whole 360. Okay? What if I insisted to distribute this one in 360? Then you should not control the in-between angle. You should have to control only the fill angle. So we have two angles, guys. We have what's called the fill angle, which is the angle on which you distribute your objects, okay? And usually this angle is 360. Once you push enter, you can see everything changed, including the angle in between. Okay, guys. So this is the way you control your ruler. What if after I finished up my business, I forgot something wrong? Number of items is not wrong. The angle, I need to change it to another thing. Very simple, guys. You will just make double click. Once you make double click, you can see, guys, forget about this window right now. We'll not speak about this window right now. Once you make right click, guys, you can see the windows come back again. So I can, for example, if I need to change the number of items, make it 15. Just put 15 up there and push enter. Okay. And now we can switch. Here you go, guys. You see the change in the numbers. Okay, let's try another smaller number, 10. Okay, you see the change. Okay, what if I need to make my fill angle just 180? Just 180. Okay, and then you switch. Here you go. So you can control everything. This is the first way. The second way, as we did in the command, as we did at the beginning, is to control from the command line. And the third way, guys, is to control from what? From this arrowhead. Again, see, I'm catching the arrowhead, and once I move in the anti-clockwise direction, the number of items are increasing. Okay, if I am gonna move in the clockwise direction, your item should decrease. Okay, but it gives me red color here, which means that you will not be able to do this. Okay, the only available option here, because you are already done with your business. Okay, the only option is to increase the number of items. Not only this, guys, after increasing the number of items, I can also control the spacing in between. Here you go. You see how the location of each object has changed. Okay, you can also move the total pattern from a place to another by just picking up the center. So everything you could do, just try it yourself, and you get familiar with all of this editing process. Okay. Now it's time to move to another command, which is the scale. Okay, what is the scale, guys? Scale is a scale. Okay, it is the way you decided to draw your object on the drafting paper. And if you, for example, if you remember, guys, when we spoke about the scale at the beginning of the semester, we said if you have like a very huge piece of land and you need to make a plan view for this piece, then for sure your scale will be something 1 centimeter on my drawing sheet represent 1,000 kilo, represent 100 meter or 1,000 meter or something like this. Okay, and if you are dealing with a very tiny object like micro elements, then in this case your scale will be scaling up, which means that you are increasing the volume. And in this case, you will say it's okay. Each 1 centimeter or each 10 centimeter in my drawing represent 1 millimeter in the reality. Okay. So again, how can we do this scale in our business here? Very simple. Let's say, guys, that I need to I have a rectangle, and after I draw that rectangle, let me get rid of this. We are no longer need. By the way, guys, let me show you something. When you try to erase any elements in the array, the program will erase everything because the program is still dealing with this object as one entity, one piece. So how can we get out of this problem, guys? Remember, if I need just to erase one element here or one element there, what should we do before we do this business? Can somebody remind me about the command that we used?
Explore.
Doctor, there is no voice.
Can you hear me back? Can
Yes,
you hear me
yes,
back?
Yes,
yes, no.
Yes. Thank you for paying my attention. From time to time, once you cannot hear me, just send me a message. But I will not be able to respond with voice, of course, until I fix the problem. So you have to be patient. Okay. Anyway, this is the last thing that I spoke about, guys. Is how to if you need to eliminate or erase any element in the array, you have to explode it first. So I was before the voice. Before muting the voice, I was speaking about the entities that the program is dealing with them as one entity, like what? The polyline, which is that one. Any part in the polyline, the program is dealing with it as well as if you choose the whole part as one entity, okay? Of course, if you are choosing a rectangle, if you are drawing a rectangle this way by just a rectangle or a hexagon, each side of the rectangle is one entity for same like any other part. Like, yani, for example, let me tell you, let's say, guys, that I draw a rectangle using a line by line option like this. Okay, like this. The difference between this rectangle and that rectangle is very big. Like what? If you are trying to erase one of the elements here, then you will be able to erase it easily because you created step by step or line by line. Okay, but in the other one, you see, guys, once you come and try to erase it, let's say erase. Okay, once you come close, it will erase everything. So again, guys, once you see that the program is dealing with something as one entity, the very first step to do, if you decided to erase one of the elements, is to go and make explode. خلاص? Okay, now let's erase all the screen. Erase all. Move to the next the next one. Let's say, guys, as I told you, let's say that I have that circle. Not only this circle, let's say that I have that a rectangle. Okay, and that's it. And let's see how can we implement the scale. You just click on the scale, and as usual, guys, please don't rush to the object, just go and read what the program is telling you. So he's telling you to select the object. Maybe I need to change the scale of this one only, so I'm going to change select that one. That's it. To get all this series of questions, because the program will keep asking you select object, select object, select object, you make right click and be ready for the next question, which is the next question is select base point. Okay, so usually guys, if you need to keep the object in its place without a change, and for example, if I need to let that rectangle is sticking to the horizontal line, so better when you pick up the base point to pick up one of the corners at that horizontal. But if I need my rectangle not to be after scaling, of course, line at the top, so it's better to pick up a point at the top like this one. Okay, now the command line is telling you to specify the scale factor. Okay, so you go to the command line. Let's say that I need to increase this one by double. You just put 2. Here you go, guys. Now, what if I need to go back and return it to its original shape? Very simple. Scale. You select the object and then right click, and then be ready to answer the second question, which is picking up the base point. I'm gonna pick up this one, and now when the program asks me for the scale, I'm gonna put it 0.5. Why? Because I increase the size by 2, and if I need to return it back to its original shape, I just put 0.5. So here you go, guys. What if I need to make it smaller and smaller? No problem. Just again repeat scale. Okay, you select the objects and then right click, and then you pick up the corner, and then again you go here and let's say 0.25. Okay, so you are able to control the scaling value based on your desires. This is how to scale your object. Okay, now the second one that we'll speak about today, guys, is the third command. I'm sorry, not the second. The stretch command. What do I mean by stretch? Stretch means stretch. It means that you have something that you need to apply some force to make elongation عشان الحاجه تستطيل بالظبط. خلاص. So you just click on stretch and be careful, guys, when you use this command, because this command is a little bit not difficult, but you have to be very cautious when you use it. It says stretch, and then the program is telling you to select object. Okay, so please, when you select the object, and if you click this one and then stretch select object, get out of the series of questions, and then he's telling you to specify the base point. See, the next question is specify base point, as it happens exactly in the scale. So if I'm choosing any point like here, for example, okay, and I'm trying to stretch up your object, it will not be stretched out. Why? Because Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me now, guys? Okay, did Amir left or what? Did Amir leave the session or what? Amir, where are you, man? عامر العتيبي، عامر سعود العتيبي.
ايوه
ايوه يا عامر، بس انت فين؟ دخلت الحمام ولا ايه يا عامر؟ Can you hear me, Amir?
Yes, yes.
So please, Amir, don't leave the session, Amir, okay? The viewer keep sending me a message
Okay,
that
okay.
it is done and they did not tell me anything. It seems like he left the session. Okay, let me check on the people then, guys. عبد الرحمن سعود الشاطري.
Yes, doctor.
عبد
Can you hear
السلام
me?
خليل. عبد السلام
Yes.
خليل. احمد منصور.
Yes, doctor.
اوكي. علي احمد القرني البحيري.
Doctor.
اوكي. فهد عبد الله.
Yes, doctor.
حسين السلطان.
Yes, doctor. Yes.
اوكي. خالد نايف.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, Khalid, why your mic is on all the time? Please mute your mic. Turn
Huh?
off your mic, Khalid. Turn off your mic.
Okay.
Okay, Muhammad Nizar,
Yes.
Qasim Muhammad,
Yes, doctor.
and Sultan Ali Ubaid.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, thank you guys. Okay. So Amir, are you ready to be my reference until we finish this business, or can I ask somebody else?
Doctor, because my connection is weak, it's better to leave it to
I
someone.
see something wrong with your connection. Yes, I see. I can see it from my side. Any other volunteer, guys?
Yeah.
Any other volunteer willing to pay my attention if something went wrong with the session? No volunteers? Okay, should I pay you money, guys, to agree? Sultan, are you ready? Are you ready to be? I heard from Sultan first. Okay, Khalid, that's fine with you, Khalid? Can you be my reference?
I didn't hear you. What are you saying for volunteer? Why? What do you mean by it?
No, what I'm saying that in case you are not able to see the presentation, and or if you are not able to hear my voice, just give me tell me that we are not able to hear me. That's it.
Okay, I will send you, inshallah.
Okay, thank you, Khalid.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys. So again, let's get back to the stretch command. As I said, the stretch command, you have to be careful when you make your stretch. You click on the stretch, okay, and then be ready to answer the first question, which is the selection of the object. So guys, when you select the object for the stretch, it's completely different from all the ways before. So because before when you stretch the object, you just click on the object. You just click on the object and you make a right click to get out of the series of these selections. No, in the stretch, it's completely different. Okay, can you hear me now? Khalid, you are not doing your business, Khalid. I'm looking for somebody else. Sultan, can you be my reference?
Send you to the WhatsApp.
Man, the people,
I send you message.
Abdurrahman Saud. Thank you guys, thank you. Abdurrahman.
Send you in the WhatsApp, doctor, if you want. When your voice is cut.
Forget about WhatsApp, man. I'm sitting in front of my computer.
You want to interrupt you with mic?
I want you to pay my attention through the mic. Just tell me that you are not able to hear me.
Okay.
Okay, I sent you a message for that one. I'm sorry.
Man, my cell phone is not here. I'm doing my business now in my office. There is no cell phone. I threw it away. Okay?
Okay.
You got it, Khalid? Is it clear?
Yes, doctor, clear.
Thank you so much, man. Okay, again, I repeat that one again. for the stretch.
Doctor, no sound.
What now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Okay. I think it depends on the orientation of the mic. Okay. So again, guys, in the stretch, you go to the stretch, you click on the stretch there in the modifying list. Okay. By the way, guys, the same modifying list, you can grab it from up there. You can see there is modified there. But if can somebody remind me, how can I show and hide that menu bar? I kept repeating during the class that this
There is
menu bar is very important.
there.
What do you do?
Up there is small arrow. You can
The one that I'm referring to, yes or no?
yes, show menu bar.
Exactly. You click on this very small triangle headed down, guys, and then you go all the way down and say show menu bar. If it's not there, see, guys, I hide it now. Now, if I need to bring it back, you just say show menu bar and it will pop up. So again, guys, the same iconic list of the commands here in the modifying, you can also have it as text. Like you go to modify, and then from the modify you can also choose scale, stretch, whatever the commands that we spoke about now. Okay. So again, guys, I'm gonna go back to the regular way stretch. Okay, and then I'm gonna select the object, and as I kept repeating, once you select the object, guys, don't select it the regular way. Don't just click on the object. Don't make circle around the whole object. No, you have to make circle around the part that will be extended. Yani, for example, if I need to stretch out that part to the right or to the left, what should I do? You just hold your left button of the mouse and start making a circle around that part. Okay. Unfortunately, the direction make difference. Yani when I started from a point like this and make stretching, sorry, before, guys, before when I started select.
Sound is gone.
Doctor, your voice is cut.
No sound.
Okay, how about this mic? Is it okay?
Yes, okay now.
This mic is okay. Okay, I'm trying some
Okay,
other.
now, doctor. Your voice is clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, again, guys, I keep repeating Subhanallah.
It's cut, doctor. Now it's
No
cut.
sound, Doctor.
Yes, now it's cut. دكتور your sound is cut.
لا قاعد يسمعنا بس هو قاعد يضبط المايك الحين.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yes, doctor, we can hear
Please,
you.
guys, I need only one to pay my attention, not two. I assigned somebody which is either Khalid or Sultan. It's okay, Khalid?
Yes, okay.
And the other thing, guys, you have to be patient. I can hear that you are paying my attention, that there is no voice, but I cannot take action in no time. It takes some time to fix it. Okay? So you have to get this one. Anyway, again, guys, stretch. You click on a stretch, and then when you select the object, don't select it the regular way. Don't go and pick up any point on the object. Don't go and make circle on the whole object. No, you have to make circle around the A part that you are intending to stretch out. Okay. Here you go, guys. There is a problem right now. If the color of the surrounding that you are making around the stretching edge is blue, this means that this one is not working. So you have to try again. This trial again is either by changing the direction. Here you go. Even when I change the direction, it does not work. Okay. Sometimes something like this happens. So what should I do? Keep repeating until you see that the color of the object of surrounding becomes green. So again, stretch, select object. I'm gonna select my object this way, okay, or that way, okay. Okay, let's see. Select object. I'm sorry, just one moment. As long as I see that that blue color, this means that my choice is not will not take place. It should be green color, guys. If you remember, we have a trial before.
Doctor, I can't hear your voice. Now it's cut.
Sound is gone.
Now it's open.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can
Yes,
hear you.
I can hear you.
Yeah. So again, I'm gonna get back to the stretch. I have to make a green circle. See, all this time, guys, I'm trying something wrong. I cannot have that green circulation. So let's try click on the object first. Even this one.
I think
No,
now
no.
it's. I think you have to select it from left to right. Your cut is
Talking it back.
yes. Doctor, can you say something because I can't hear you? I can't hear you. When I hear you, I will say. Until now, your voice is cut.
هو قاعد يعدل المايك بس ثواني خلي.
Now, guys.
Yes, we can hear you. No sound.
Your voice is cut, Doctor. I can't hear you.
Okay. Now, can you hear me? Can
Yes,
you hear me
doctor.
now?
Yes.
Let me repeat the stretch again. I know the mistake that I used to do. Uh, see, guys.
Doctor, your sound is gone.
Now it's okay, guys.
We can't hear you, doctor.
Okay, guys, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Again, guys, for the stretch command, first of all, you click on the stretch, and then you go, and when you select the object, as I said, don't make up the object, don't make circle around the whole object, you just make circle around the part that you are intending to extend. And the mistake that I used to do, I used to start from down there, guys. I have to start from up there and then keep moving in this in the anti-clockwise direction. This is the only way you can you can have that green color. Okay. Once you have that green color, the program is still asking you to select the object. I'm done for the object. So I now it's time to make right click, and then he's telling you to select the base point. So I can select this point, I can select the midpoint, whatever you select, it will follow you up. Okay, you select this one, and you see, guys, wherever I move, I can I can make my stretching my stretching out. Is it clear? So again, guys, what if I decide to stretch that part down there? Very simple. Again, repeat stretch. When the program asks me to select the object, I'm gonna make this a selection this way. Okay, and then be ready to answer the next question by just right click and then select a base point. I'm gonna pick up the midpoint of that line, and then I can move it down there. Is it clear, guys, how to make the stretch? So please be careful when you make your selection. Don't make it the regular way. Don't just make up any point on the object. Don't just make circle around the whole object. You have to make circle around the part that you are intending to stretch. اوكي طيب ده بالنسبه للامر بتاع بتاع stretch. في امر ثاني, there is another command that we need to speak about today is I'm gonna postpone this one, which is lengthen. Lengthen means you increase the line the line length. Let's try this one, no problem. If you have a line like this, okay, and say enter, and then you say I need to lengthen. Lengthen means increase the length. Okay, change the length of object or including angles or arcs. So I'm gonna go with the line first. So select object to measure. Okay, so I'm gonna select that that object, which is the the line itself, and then right click, and then be ready to specify the total length. You can pick up this one, guys, one of the sides, and stretch it up, or you can just put some numbers down there in the in the select object to change. Again, I'm going to select this one. Okay, and then the program keeps asking me to select the object. I'm going to make right click. Okay, to be ready for for the next for the next question. Again, guys, lengthen. Select object to measure. Okay, I don't need measure. I need the length itself. Okay, change the length of object and including the angle of arcs. You can specify changes. Okay.
Doctor, your voice is cut. Your voice is cut, doctor.
No sound.
Doctor, we can't hear you.
Doctor, no sound.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Okay. So now, guys, I'm gonna postpone the comments in the modifying, including the lesson, to the next session, inshallah. But now I need the most important thing that I need to cover before I end that session, which is how to put dimensions on your A, because of this frequent cutting of the bias, it's better to cover this one, that dimension, which is the most important command that I need to speak about today. Okay. And before the dimensions, I'm gonna speak about how to write down text in your figure. Remember, guys, when we make the orthographic projections, we have 3 views. We must write down the names of the views under each view. Like you write down front view, you write down top view, you write down left side view. So I'm gonna show you how to do this one using the AutoCAD. Okay. So now let's say, guys, that this is this is one of the views that I need to write down something under it, or I can write down my name and ID. And for example, in the exams, I'm going to ask everybody after he finishes his drawing, in the lower left corner, in the lower right corner of the screen, to write down his name and his ID and the section number. Okay. So now let's see how can we do this business. You just click on text. There are 2 ways to write down text. There is something called the multi-line text. The second one is single text. I'm gonna go with the second one, guys. Okay. So you click on single line text. Okay. And then look at the command line. Specify start point. Then the very first thing to locate is to put the point from which you will start your writing. Let's say, guys, that I'm gonna start from that location. Now it's time to specify the height. Here he gives you a height which is 1. This one, guys, is percentage of the units of the screen. So I'm not sure if it will be big or small. Okay. So the best way, guys, instead of putting numbers here, is just to move your mouse a certain distance that you'll be happy with. شايفين يا جماعة? Can you see this dotted orange line?
Yes.
So when the program asks you for the height, if you are satisfied with that height, you move your cursor a distance such that whatever you see right now, the length of that dotted line that you see right now will be exactly the height of the writing. Of course, this height is very big, so I'm going to make it a little bit small so I can do it this way. So once you click on this one, you make left click, then the program understood that the height of your font or the height of your text will be that height. Okay. Now the second question, please go to the second question. Specify rotation angle. Usually when we write down something, guys, either we write down horizontally or vertically, or we can also control the angle. Let's try the horizontal. So when the program asks you to specify the angle, just go to the command line and put 0 and then push enter. And now you are ready to write down your text. See, whatever I'm going to write down, guys, it will be here. Just double enter, you are done with your business. Plus, as you can see, guys, your writing is okay. It's not that small, it's not that big, it's something in between, and it's very clear and the clean writing. Plus, so again, I'm gonna repeat it again, but using different orientation. I'm gonna say text single line. When the program asks you for let's say, guys, that I need to write down something such that this thing will be aligned with that vertical line. Very simple. I'm gonna pick up any point here. When the program asks me for the height, I'm gonna because this is, you see that number, guys, in the command line. Can somebody tell me what is that number to be sure that you can see that number in the command line?
Number 1.
No, in the command line it says specify height and there is some number between brackets.
Do you mean 0.5?
1 point what?
No, 6, 8, 9, 6.
Thank you so much. Actually, what you are seeing right now is the default height. The one, remember the last text that we drew before, this one? This is the height of that text. So if I'm okay with the height, that's fine. You go directly to the command line. You have to go to the command line, guys, and be sure that your mouse is blinking there, and then you push enter. At that time, you guarantee that the program will take exactly that number as a height, which is 1.68 something. Now it's time to answer the next question. Be careful about the next question, guys. Remember, I said I need to write down something such that it will be in a vertical aligned in that vertical direction. So when you choose the direction, the angle, don't say 0. You have to say 90. And now you are ready to write down your text. At the moment you write down the text, you will not see anything until you finish up your business. يعني when you write down something, you will see that everything is in horizontal position. But once you make double click on the enter, you see the final the final location and the final shape of the of your text. So let me write down, for example, my name, okay, and then push enter, enter. Here you go, guys. You got it? Is it clear what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay. So these are the steps of writing down your text on your figure. What is next? The most important thing that I need to cover today, guys, is how to put the dimensions on your object. Okay. How can I put the dimension on my object? You can go to annotation, guys, or you can go to the dimension here in the command line. Okay. There are different ways to make your dimension. So if you go to dimension, and for example, let's say that I need to put the length of that side of the rectangle. You just go to linear, okay, and then you click on you go to this icon up there, guys. See that icon up there? Forget about this one. This is another story. We'll speak about it later. Now I'm just speaking about the very regular and the very normal dimensions. You go to this icon in the annotation band, and then you click on linear. If you decide to put a linear dimension for your object, okay. So once you click on linear, as you can see, guys, you have to rush to the command line and listen to him. What the command line is telling you right now, it tells you to specify first extension line or origin. Okay, so in this case, guys, I'm gonna pick up that corner as my first first location of my extension line. Okay, and then once you click on it, the program automatically will ask you the next question, which is what? Specify second extension line. Here you go, guys. I'm gonna pick up the opposite one, and here is the dimensions. Can you see something? Can you see some change, guys, in the picture, in the drawing?
Yes, yes.
Yes, it is there, but unfortunately, the arrow size, remember, guys, that there are some conditions for the dimension to be accepted. First of all, the text that are written here should be clear. Can you see the text, guys? It's very tiny. You will not be able to see it, okay? Not only this, the arrow size. Can you see the arrow size? The arrow head size?
Very
Can you see the
small.
arrow?
Very small.
You cannot see the arrow. Not only this, guys. Can you see the space? Remember that we said that there should be a gap between the object and the extension line. Can you see that gap? Can you see that gap, guys?
No, there is no space.
Nothing there. No, but to be honest with you, it's already there, but it's very small. So now, guys, before you think about dimension, this is the way actually I sometimes this is the way I deliver the information. I take you to the wrong side, and then you realize that there is something wrong that need to be done. Before you think, guys, about putting any dimensions, you have to prepare your dimensions. You have to make the dimension. Yani, for example, remember when we choose the text height and we choose the orientation? This is preparing for the text. But to go to blindly and say, okay, I'm going to put the dimension on my object, it will not work this way. The only way that it might work this way, if your limits with the regular limits, 12 and remember the lower limits 0 and 0 and 12 and 9, sometimes it works and you can directly see the dimension clearly. But the right way is to do the following steps. The very first step, guys, before thinking about going to annotation or going to dimensions, is to go to format. Okay, you click on format, and then there are a lot of options. One of them, guys, before, if you remember, we dealt with line type. In the lecture, we spoke about how to upload the line type. Now let's focus on the dimension style, and then I'm gonna repeat the line type again, but later, not now. So again, guys, I'm gonna go to dimension style. Once you click on the dimension style, you have to see that small window there. Okay, it takes time to show up because my computer is not fast. Okay, guys, you see the option that you have right now. It's called standard dimensions. Okay, the very first thing to do, guys, is to create your own dimension style. How can I create my own dimension style? I have to come here and click on that icon, new. Okay, be careful, guys. When you click on the new, you see that there is another small window that popped up. and then that new is you are telling the program to take the standard as a reference. يعني احنا مش هنخترع يا جماعه العجله من بدايتها، لا انا هاخد الستاندر وابدا اعدل فيه. This is exactly what do I mean here by a when you say new and you take copy from the a from that standard and make it changes. هنا حتى بيقول لك ايه if you look carefully it says what start with standard, which means that your standard will be the basic, the foundation, and then you will add your touch on that standard. You get it? Now guys, if it's something like this, why wouldn't I change the name of the style and give it my name? For example, I'm gonna call this style for example الزهراني style, الشباسي style. So give it the name that you are familiar with, and this is the style of the new dimension that you're gonna use during in doing the business in this drawing. So first of all, الشباسي. Second thing, start with what? You can start with this option, annotative, or you can start with the standard. Okay, it doesn't matter if you go this one or that one. Okay, let's go to the standard. And then please, if you go with standard, better to choose annotative. Annotative means what, guys? Annotative means that whenever you change the limits, of your drawing, the dimension itself will automatically be changed also based on that change. يعني if you remember, we started with 12 and 9 as upper right corner for the limits. And let's say if our numbers are in hundreds or thousands, then I have to change it to 100 something to 100 something. Remember, guys? So if you decide to do something like this, when you already did your business with the dimension, okay, then you make it annotative. So to be to be automatically or dynamically changing with the limits itself. Okay. So now after you say you choose the name of the style, after you told the program I'm going to start from standard, you have to click on annotative and then say continue. Okay. Now guys, this is the sample of the object that you will see in the on the drawing. The very first thing that I have to play with is go to the text. Okay. As you can see, guys, this is the current text, the one that you cannot see right now. It's 0.18. Why don't we make it big number? Let's say 3, for example, or 2. Okay. And then you have a lot of options, guys. Don't play with anything else. Like, for example, what? You can draw frame around the text. This is not our way of putting the dimension. ما بنحطش احنا مربع حوالين الحاجة. احنا بنكتب الحاجة من غير مربع. So you can play with this, with all of this, but be careful, guys. You have to stick to our standards. We just put the numbers like this. We don't make any rectangle or any frame around the text. Okay. The second thing, guys, is text placement. See, guys, as you can see, this text is exactly placed at the middle of the line. You see, like this, that small number, it's still there in the middle of the line, but there are some options to put it on the top. Here you go, guys. You see the numbers now? You see the sample? Your number becomes on the top. You can also put it at the outside, like this one. You see this one on the right, that one on the left. You put it completely outside of the dimension line. You can also put it below. Here you go. I put the number below. You can also have that option. Okay. We call it GIS. The only one, guys, that we are using is just the center. So don't play with this one, please. Okay. Now, horizontal, again, leave it as it is, center. View direction from left to right, because we are writing down English. Usually we are writing from left to right. Okay. And now, guys, this is the time for changing, making some offset from dimension line. Yani if you look carefully, guys, you see that the beginning of your text is almost sticking to the end of the dimension line. If I need to make that one like 0.5, then there will be some decent space between your dimension line and the beginning of the text. So better to change this one and make it that small number. Okay. Now text alignment. Usually we don't play with this one. We just say horizontal. Okay. Or you can say aligned with dimension line. What is the difference between this one and that one? Look at these two numbers, guys. Look at that number. It's always horizontal. You see in the sample. Okay. If you change to align with dimension line, here you go, guys. This is exactly what you'll get. Okay. So from my side, it doesn't matter if you go with the first option or you go with the second option. Is it clear, guys, what I'm saying?
Yes, doctor.
Okay, now
Yes.
let's move to another thing that I need to play with. You say okay, means you are happy with all of the changes, and then you go back to your business. But I did not finish yet. I have to go to the primary units. You see, guys, how many decimal, how many numbers in front of the decimal sign? Too much numbers, which is 4 zeros. You see, 1, 2, 3, 4 digits. So better now, if you don't have any fractions, better to make this one 0. And you see, guys, the numbers becomes very clear, just exact round figure numbers. But if you have some fractions, you have to add some zeros. But don't put that extra zeros. Like if you for example, you are speaking about 0.3, 0.5, 0.6. So better to go to choose 1 0 in front of the decimal number. Is it clear what I'm saying, guys? So 1 0 is more than enough, or 2 zeros if you need to be more precise. Okay. Now the second thing that we need to do in this window, don't do anything else. That's it. In that window, guys, we only change the precision of my number. Tamam. Now let's move to symbols and arrows. So remember, guys, we start with any one of them, but you have to focus on only this: symbols and arrows, text and primary units. Anything else, forget about it. Again, guys, when you play with the dimensions, you can play with symbols and arrows, text, primary units. Anything else, please don't touch it. Okay? Maybe from time to time we'll come to the lines and start no, actually the lines are there. You have also to deal with the lines. So we have these 4 options: lines, symbols and arrows, text, and the units. So you can start from left. For example, starting from lines. Here, the regular line that we are using right now, guys, is a visible line. طبعا لما بنيجي نرسم الدايمنشن ما بنرسمهاش بخط دوتد ولا سنتر لاين. You usually go to the line type and say by block. By block means what? The visible option, the continuous one. Okay? Now, baseline spacing. Baseline spacing. If you change that number, you see that this number will reflect on something. Okay? Baseline spacing. Do you see any change, guys, taking place here? Baseline spacing. Did you see any change took place when I put this number?
No,
I make it even bigger. Can you hear me, guys? Why there is no feedback from you guys?
yes, now I hear.
Can you see any change in the sample there after I changed that number to make it big or small?
No.
As you can see, nothing we changed. So better not to play with that number. Just keep it as it is. Okay. But the most important thing that you have to do here is to go to extension beyond dimension line and offset from origin. Here you go, guys. Remember the gap that we spoke about? We said, didn't we say that there should be a gap between the extension line and the object? So this is a number that reflects that gap. So let's put a very big number to see the difference. You see how the changes taking place, guys, here? You see when I put 2, what happened? Okay, let's make it bigger.
Yes.
Okay, see, bigger, another big one. You can keep changing until you change the here you go. You see, guys? So when you choose the distance, you have to choose reasonable number. So we can go with 0.5, and if it did not work, we'll try, of course, guys, what will happen after we finish. And if I'm not happy with any of these numbers, I have to go back and do the same steps again. So again, offset from origin, prefer to make it either 0.5 or 1. Okay? What about extension beyond dimension line? What do I mean by extension, guys? You see that very tiny part up there? This is called the extension beyond dimension line. Better to make this one bigger than the gap. So if the gap is 1, I prefer to make this one 2. You see the difference, guys, now? You see how I increase that part?
Yes.
Okay. So in that window, don't do anything except playing with these 2 things: extension beyond dimension line and offset from origin. Okay, guys? Now it's time to move to the symbols and the arrows. Okay, as you can see, guys, the arrow size is the one that you can see right now on the one. This is the 0.18. So I'm not happy with that one. Okay, no problem. Just make it 2. Here you go, guys. You can see in the sample that you are able to see the arrow size, and it's almost It's almost consistent with the size of the text. So 2 is okay. Maybe in other drawing you can put 20 based on the limits. So we don't know what will happen. Okay. Now what about this one, guys? This one represents the center of the circle. So whenever you draw any circle, by default that circle will have a center somewhere here. We call it center mark. Okay. Now you can also control that size by changing that number. I can say it's okay. Let's put it 1. You see what happened, guys? It was very tiny dot, and now it's become clear A, cross A, or plus sign. Okay. So these are very important things to play with. Again, for the in the list of the symbols and the arrows, but if it's better to go the arrow size and change it, and better to go the center mark and change it. Anything else beyond this one, don't do anything, guys. Please keep it as they are. Okay. Now the text, we already fixed the text from the beginning. Here you go, guys. Remember when I said text height 2, and when I put the symbols and the arrows, I also said 2. So it's better to have the arrow size and the text from the same size. Nothing to be done here because we already make our changes here. Now it's time to go to the primary units. We are also done with our primary units. We fixed that one to 0. And this one, actually, if you need to make round off, you can make your A round off up to like A.5. This is something related to the rounding. عملية التقريب الحساب يا جماعة. خلاص? Usually I don't do anything with this one. I keep it as it is. Now I made all the changes that I'm happy with it, and then say OK. Once you say OK, guys, you see what happened? There is a new style appeared in that list, which is under my name, Elshabasy name. Okay. So before you say close, you have to be sure that this is the one that you will follow up. Otherwise, after you create your own, and then by default, by mistake, you click on that standard, and then you say close. What will happen actually? Any dimension you will draw after you close that window will follow up the standard style. But I'm not here actually to create a new style and then end up with. I have to go to the style that I created, and then say what? Set current. You have to say what, guys? After you finish up your business and create your style before you close, you have to say set current. Is it clear what I'm saying?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So I'm gonna say set current, then I can close. And now let's see what will happen. I'm gonna go with linear again. Then the program is reminding me that your style is annotated. Just say OK. Okay. And then be ready to answer the question, the usual question. Here you go. I'm gonna pick up that line, and here is the dimension. You see, guys, how the dimensions are clear. They are not that big. They are not that small. They are consistent with with the size of my drawing. Okay. Now, guys, what about this one? You have two ways to go. Either you go and click on it and erase it and do it from the beginning, and I don't prefer to do this business. The other way, guys, is to.
Doctor, your sound is gone.
Can you hear me now, guys?
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So again, guys, what I said, I was just speaking about that part. What should we do with this one? There are different scenarios. Either you erase it completely and you do it from the beginning. The other easy way is to do the following. You click on it, make left click, and then right click, and then go to properties. Okay? And from the properties, guys, you choose the style. You see, guys, where is the style here? Yeah, here we go. Dimension style. You see that one, guys? Dimension style. The standard one, this is the one that I used before, right? But now I need to update that one to become consistent with the new style, which is the Elshabasy style. So I'm gonna say dimension style, and then from standard you choose Elshabasy. Here you go, guys. You see how easy it is? So this is the way you.
Doctor, your sound is gone.
Can you hear me? Can you hear
Yes,
me, guys?
doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so again, I showed you how to update this one to be consistent with the new style before the voice.
Yes.
Yes, what is wrong?
You explained it, doctor. You explained it already.
We make it already. You said.
Yeah, we heard your voice.
Okay, okay, no
But
problem, no problem. I'm gonna show you different way. As I said, there are three ways. There are different ways to update this one. Either
okay.
you remove it completely and do it from the beginning. The second option is to go and click on left click and then right click and then go to properties and then you choose the new style, which is Elshabasy style, right? Okay. This is before the voice went off. Okay. Now the third way, guys, is to do the following.
Doctor, no sound.
Now you can hear me.
Yes, doctor.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
doctor.
So the second option, guys, the third option is to go and click on the style that you created and you are happy with. And then you go to this icon there in the properties. You said match property. Match in Arabic means خليها تتماشى مع، يعني خليها متوافقة مع. خلاص. So you say match property, and then after you say match property, you click on match property, and then you go and choose the other one that you need to update. Here you go, guys. Once I say match property and I click on the next one, it gets updated automatically and it has the same properties of the first dimension that I created. واضح يا جماعه؟ طيب let's try other dimensions. Like what? I can go with that option. That option is different, guys. يعني let me show you the difference between the first option that we used and the second option. Okay. For the second option, I said align. Aligned with what, guys? Aligned with the line that you are putting the dimension for. Like what? If I decide to put the dimension for this one, and there is no way to put it as a vertical, I have to make it aligned. I have to make at that end. You go to align it first, guys. You choose that end, and you choose, for example, the other end. Here you go, guys. When you write down the line itself is parallel to the side. This is exactly what I meant by aligned. So from now on, guys, to make your life easy, I recommend all the time to choose the second option, not the first one. Okay? You got my point? Again, guys, you have linear and you have aligned. Aligned means your dimension all the time will be parallel to the dimension line itself will be parallel to the side. So better to go with the second option than going with the first option. Okay? Now, what else we can have also?
No sound, doctor.
No sound, doctor.
Oh, that there is no sound. I'm trying to fix it. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So again, guys, the third option in the dimension list is to put the angle. So you go to angular and then be ready to answer the question. Select arc, circle, line. Of course, I'm gonna put for this angle. You select that line first, and that line next, and then you can put your dimension inside or outside. Okay. So based on the location that you decide to make your left click in. Again, guys, I can say repeat a dimension angular. Pick up that one. Pick up this one. Okay, and put your angular dimensions. What else we can also put? We can do a lot of things, guys. If you have an arc, yeah, let's say that I have an arc. Okay, here you go. Let's say I created some arc like this, and I need to put the dimension.
Doctor, no sound.
Doctor, we can't hear you.
What about that? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Can
doctor.
you hear me, guys? Okay.
Yes, yes.
As I said, let's assume that you have an arc. You have two things to put onto the arc. Either you put the angle, or you can put the length of the arc itself by just saying click, and then click on the arc arc length. So you click on the arc, and it will automatically give you the length of the arc. And be careful, guys. When he put the dimension here, he put that symbol. What does it mean? It means that this number is not a number of a straight line. It's not the length of a straight line. It's a length of something curved. This is why when you put the length of the arc, he used to put that symbol there. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys, what I'm saying?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
What if somebody forgot and they said it's okay, I'm gonna put the length of the arc using a alignment. Let's see if it will work or not. You pick up the first corner, you pick up the next corner, it will not work, guys. Because aligned and linear gives you only the lengths of straight lines, straight dimensions. But if I need to do something related to the arc, then I have to go to the arc length or arc angle. Okay? What else we can do also in our dimensions? We can put the radius. For example, I can go to align it and just choose the radius. And you put your circle, and here you go, guys. Remember that center of the circle? Remember when I said that you can control the center mark of the circle? Here is exactly how it does look like when you change the size. And again, guys, R refers to the radius. What if I decide to put diameter, not radius? Very simple. You go and see a diameter, and then you choose the same circle, and then again, guys, you see now it's the symbol is different. The symbol is phi. So what I'm trying to tell you guys that you have the flexibility to do anything that you want in the dimensions. Okay? There are some other issues in the dimension. It's not under the scope of our course, but you can play with them. And if you have any question, you can come back to me like this one, ordinate and jog. This is not used in our business. خلاص, as civil engineers or mechanical engineers. Okay, guys. There is also this kind of adding leader to something. And if you need to describe something, you just you go to a leader and you choose any point, and then for that leader you just write down that this place represent whatever. يعني انت عايز تريفير لحاجه وتكتب جنبها زي تكست توصفها، فبنستخدم حاجه اسمها الليدر. طيب هتلاحظ ان دبل انتر، هتلاحظ ان الليدر هنا لا يخضع لا يخضع للابديت اللي انت عملته في الدايمنشنز. طيب عايز اخليه شبه الدايمنشنز بتاعتي. Very simple. You go and pick up the dimension, and then you go to match properties, and then you go to leader and see if it will work or not. It does not work. Why it does not work, guys? Because leader is something different than the dimensions. So how can I control the properties of that leader? Let's see. Maybe it's already in the format. See, guys, table, dimension, text style, scale, line weight, multi-line style, point style, block style. I think this one. Okay, so you go to multi-leader. Okay, and then you can create your own one. I can also call it again with my name. Okay, and then make it annotated, and then continue, and then the size of the arrow size, I'm gonna make it big, let's say 2, to be consistent with the other one. The break size, let's make it big number. Okay, and now no, let's return it back, 0.1. Okay, the arrow size is 2. You can also change the shape of the arrowhead, not only the arrow size. What else we can control, guys? We can also control the color. Okay, and now it's time to change the text. Where is the text? Text should be somewhere here, guys. Arrowhead, leader, maximum leader points, first segment angle, no. Landing setting, scale, annotative, content. Here you go, guys. The text is in the content. You go to content and change the text and make it 2, for example. Okay. You can also change the color of the text, make it something different. You can play with all these numbers and see what will be the results. And by keep it changing, you will get the experience, guys. Okay. So you say okay, and then we go to Elshabasy and then set current, and then close. Now, whenever you draw any leader, it should follow up the new style. Enter and done. Escape. You will say change, yes. Okay, so this is a new leader. What about the old leader? Again, guys, the old leader, I did it before I changed my style. So how can I make the matching between this one and that one? Remember, guys, you can make left click, same story, same steps that you did with the dimensions. You click on it and you go to properties, and then when it goes to the multi-leader style, you see the new one that I created, Elshabasy. I forgot to write down my full name, Elshabasy. Okay, and here you go, guys. Once you click on Elshabasy and then close.
No sound, doctor.
دكتور
Okay, guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, doctor.
Khaled,
yes, yes.
can you hear me?
Yes, doctor. Yes.
Okay. See, did you hear what I did with the last leader? I said how to change it. Did you hear that part? Or the voice was not there?
We hear it, doctor.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. That's it, guys. This is the end of the story today. Unfortunately, because of the frequent muting of the sound, we were not able to cover all the commands. But at least, Alhamdulillah, very quickly, we covered the array, how to make array. We covered how to change the scale. We covered how to make the stretch for your object. We also covered how to draw a text, and we also covered how to put the dimension in your style. The reason, guys, that I intentionally cover the dimension here and the text, because when you submit your quiz and when you submit your assignment, you have to your drawing should be in a full shape. What do I mean by the full shape? You have to have the drawing. Not only the drawing, you have also to put the names of the drawing. Not only this, you have also to put the dimensions, because until the very last practical class, we did not put the dimensions, if you remember, guys. So now it's time to apply our dimensions to the figures. Okay, guys, can somebody very quickly remind me about the steps of the dimensions? If I need to create dimension, what is the very first step to do before thinking about putting the dimensions, guys? Any volunteer?
Yes, one.
The step number one in creating the dimensions, what should we do?
Go to dimension type. Format, baby.
Exactly, go to format,
Yes,
and
and
from the format,
dimension type.
you go to dimension style,
Yes,
and then
and new one.
this was not there before. Before we have standard and annotated. You choose one of them, and what is next?
New. Choose new.
New, yes.
Yes.
And then once you see this window,
Put your name.
put the name that you like. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
After
and
that,
then
stand
start
up
with
and
some.
put annotation. Annotated.
Okay,
Put the name.
annotated, and then
Yes.
continue, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's say that this is the name. After continue, you should see that window. How
Yes.
many tabs here we should play with? We can
Line,
lines. Lines are okay.
and text and the primary units
Okay, again lines, symbols
and
and arrows, and then text, and then
text primary
primary.
units.
And let's say that you are done with A and you created that style. You say okay. What is
And
the very last step to do before you go to the work?
choose your name
The new
that
one
you
that
like.
you created, yes sir, and then say what?
Says
Set current.
yes.
And then whatever you'll do here in your on your screen will follow up exactly the standard that you created. ماشي يا جماعه؟ انا اسف قطع الصوت ده مش بايدي والله، انا للاسف الامر بيتكرر هنا في الكليه وفي البيت كمان، يعني حتى لما بحاول اسجل من البيت بيحصل نفس المشكله. بس على الاقل يعني احنا طلعنا بساعه شرح كامله يعني من الساعه ونص يعني. طيب اي سؤال يا رجاله قبل ما نوقف الريكوردنج؟
لا، يعطيك العافية.
ماشي. باي ذا واي في سلطان اللي هو سلطان صالح الدوليجان، مش معاكم في السكشن ده صح؟
ما اظن لا.
لا ما اتوقع. هو اللي انت وكلته بتسجيل الفيديوهات يحطها في اليوتيوب صح؟
صالح هو اللي مسؤول عن رفع الحاجات
اي
لليوتيوب.
لا هو حق يوم الاحد، عنده يوم الاحد مو الاثنين.
طب هستأذنكم في حاجه يا جماعه، مين فيكم السكشن بتاعه 103 البراكتيكال والثيري برضه بتاعه 103؟ حد فيكم الثيري 103؟ معظمكم المفروض يبقى 103 ثيري و103 براكتيكال رقم السكشن.
لا
مين
انا
فيكم؟
السكشن براكتيكال 101.
انت براكتيكال 101؟ لا I'm looking for somebody انا اقدر اجيب الاسماء يا جماعه، رجاء انت لو انت عارف قول لي.
انا يا دكتور انا 103 103
طب يا عامر انت فين يا عامر؟ انت مدور عليك من الصبح يا عم.
موجود يا
بص يا عامر الله يصلح حالك، في فيديوهين دلوقتي موجودين عندكم في سيكشن 103، اخر فيديو في البراكتيكال جميل، واخر فيديو في اللي هو بتاع النهارده بتاع الثيوريتيكال.
ايوه
خلاص الفيديوهين دول بعد اذنك لو تسمح هتنزلهم وتتواصل مع صالح الدلجان وتديهم له عشان يحملهم على اليوتيوب.
الفيديوهات موجوده على البلاك بورد يعني.
ايوه التسجيل موجود على البلاك بورد، اوريك ازاي المفروض بتخش على حاجه اسمها فيرتشوال كلاس.
اعرف مكانها
عارف يعني. طيب
في
رجاء بس
الريكوردنج.
يا عامر لو تسمح
ايوه
هتنزل اخر محاضره في البراكتيكال
ايوه
والمحاضره بتاعت النهارده اللي هي الثيوريتيكال،
اوكي
وهتشيرهم مع صالح الدلاجين عن طريق بقى الجوجل درايف او وات ايفر. خلاص وتخليه يرفعهم، يطلب منه يقول له بيقول لك الدكتور بعد اذنك ارفعهم. البراكتيكال هيبقى ليكشر نمبر 4 والثيري اللي هي بتاعت النهارده اللي ليكشر نمبر 5.
اوكي
واضح الترتيب؟ البراكتيكال
اوكي
هيبقى نمبر 4 والمحاضره بتاعت النهارده ديت نمبر 5، هيرفعهم على اليوتيوب. ومعلش يعلم الناس ان هو رفعهم برده من خلال رساله صغيره على الواتساب. ماشي يا جماعه؟ طيب
دكتور الصوت راح ترى. مع السلامة يا حفظ الله.
ثانك يو دكتور.
كلمناك مش